This egg was one, but when injected with this amazing medicine, it multiplied itself and instantly became two. This medicine is an amazing medicine, and researchers are now trying to create its own twin by testing it on humans. This woman is called Elizabeth Sparkle. She is a famous and talented stage dancer and model. She has become a millionaire and famous using her looks and appearance, and has had the opportunity to meet and work with many investors. But now, due to her age, her ability to attract human attention seems to be diminishing, and she seems to understand the situation as well, because when she looks at herself, her facial skin is drying out and her body shape is not the same as when she was younger. And she is sure that if this situation continues like this, she will be able to retire from her profession altogether. And she has to do something to get back to her former youthful position. One day, Elizabeth finished her stage work and went to the bathroom. When she entered, she heard her boss talking on the phone. Her boss is ordering the human resources department that Elizabeth is not qualified for this job at her age, and that another young, beautiful woman should be found. When Elizabeth heard this, she was shocked. Her suspicions and fears were correct. After that, Elizabeth at a dinner party with her boss Harvey. Her boss told her that the stage work they were preparing was not bringing him as much money as he had hoped, and that if the situation continued like this, the company would go bankrupt. Hearing this, Elizabeth became even more angry and began to walk home. She also sees another annoying thing as she is on her way home. Her advertising photos posted on the side of the road are being taken. Now Elizabeth is more than aware that everyone is going to throw her away like trash. And while she is in this state of anger, Elizabeth suddenly collides with another. Fortunately, she was not seriously injured, and after some examination, she went home safely from the hospital. As soon as she got home, she began to look at herself in the mirror. When she looked at herself, she began to hate herself when she realized that her beloved beauty could not be restored. The next day, she remembered the advertisement she had seen on the TV before and searched for it and turned it on. And she watched the advertisement over and over again. The advertisement says that it is about reproducing DNA to make a person younger and older. She called them immediately after seeing the advertisement, and she received their address, and she gave them her own address. The next morning, a sealed envelope was sent to the address she had given them, and when she opened it, it said her unique number was 503, and they also wrote down their address. Elizabeth goes to an address in a hidden building down a dark alley, and she enters through a locked door. She finds a locker with her number and opens it to get her package. She gets home and opens the box to find a guide, a switch, a stabilizer, a change agent, and some green liquid. Next, she looks closely at her reflection to check every part of her body. She hesitantly gives herself an injection of the green liquid from before. At first, nothing occurs, but then, feeling really dizzy, Elizabeth falls to the ground in pain as a big cut appears on her back. A pretty young woman comes out from behind Elizabeth. The young Elizabeth looks at her beautiful reflection in the mirror. She looks at her new shape and her fresh, smooth skin. But the old woman Elizabeth fell unconscious on the ground. The young Elizabeth soon sees an ad and goes to the studio after putting on a sexy outfit. The judges at the studio have seen many women, but none of them matched what they thought was beautiful. However, they are amazed when they see the young woman named Sue, who is attractive and confident, and she quickly becomes part of Elizabeth's group. Her boss, when he saw Sue, really liked her. Then, in the early days, Sue became very famous, and then in the first week she was able to do many commercials. But she makes sure to take her daily medicine. Soon, she goes back to being the same boring Elizabeth, and her life stays ordinary and unexciting. She took her, locked her in an empty house, and went to the studio to do her work. Sue was successful in her career and was able to do many advertising jobs at the same time. Her energy and talent attract everyone. Everyone, including Harvey, was impressed by her charm. Soon, when Elizabeth wakes up, she sees that her house is a mess and notices a note stuck on the window from Troy. She is shocked to see that spending more time with Sue has made her right hand look older and unhealthy. She quickly goes to the bathroom and sees that her whole body looks decayed and unhealthy. One day Harvey told Sue about the big job he was doing recently, a big television show that millions of people would watch live, and Sue's joy was doubled when she learned that she would earn $1 million from this job. After that, Sue starts using the substance every day and changes her weekly schedule to make sure she stays in control during New Year's week. But Elizabeth starts to have side effects, and a painful bump shows up on her back. When Elizabeth wakes up, she screams because she sees that almost half of her body is rotten. Like always, she calls the operator upset, saying that Sue is being careless and taking more time from the matrix than she is allowed. The operator tells her she can choose to end everything because she has the power to stop it all. But he tells her that the harm is already done and can't be fixed, but she can prevent it from getting worse. Even though she was warned, Elizabeth doesn't want to return to her unhappy life and starts to feel strange effects on her mind. One day, while Elizabeth was cooking at home, she suddenly saw Sue being interviewed as a guest on a major television station. She got angry and turned off the TV. Elizabeth understands what's happening but can't handle it because she talks to herself a lot, angrily blaming Sue. After 6 months, the New Year's event is going to happen. Sue is ready for the moment that will make her famous. The night before her big chance, she goes to the bathroom to find more stabilizers, but instead, she discovers a bad substance in the capsule that might mess up everything. In a rush, she tries to reach the supplier for more stabilizers. To get more, she would need to wait for the liquid to come back. Sue struggles with terrible pain and nosebleeds. She sees a cut that is starting to look like an infected sore. She is told that the only way to save herself is to trade places with Elizabeth. On the other hand, Elizabeth's body is crumbling and turning into a terrifying creature, and she calls the provider to stop this. The provider told her that he would help her get what she wanted, and she came to pick up the unconscious Sue, who was lying on the floor, and as she was about to inject the anesthetic, she remembered what the provider had told her earlier. When she realized that no new events would happen to her even if she stopped the process, and when she realized that this young woman was about to host the biggest New Year's event in a day, she decided to stop injecting and wake her up. Sue was finally able to wake up from a lot of exhaustion, but unfortunately, she killed Elizabeth, who had saved her in a state of panic as soon as she woke up. Sue then heads to the network to prepare for the New Year's Eve special. Everyone thinks she looks incredibly beautiful, but something is wrong because Sue is feeling sad about the death of her mentor, Elizabeth. The side effects made her run to the bathroom. Sadly, her body begins to break down. 3 of her front teeth fall out, her fingernails come off, and her left ear starts to detach. She hurriedly leaves the bathroom, trying to stay away from everyone. At the same time, Mary Harvey shows up with a group of investors. Sue forces a smile, keeping her lips tightly closed. Sue runs home feeling dizzy and wants to make things better. When she gets there, she finds the vial of activator fluid and uses the syringe on herself. But it was meant to be used just once. Instead of making a new young body, it produces a very ugly creature that looks like a twisted, brain-like monster. The giant Sue returns to the studio with a poster of Elizabeth's face taped to her own and wearing Sue's dress. People were excitedly waiting to see Sue, the pretty girl who does aerobics, make her first appearance. Instead, a scary monster comes onto the stage, causing everyone to be frightened. First, the face comes off and shows its ugly appearance to everyone, including some kids. Angry Harvey fights the monster and hits its head off with a mic stand, but the head grows back. Its arm drops off and splatters the crowd, covering the whole room in red goo. In a last-chance effort, the monster manages to escape the studio before it falls apart and destroys itself completely. From it comes a soft mass with Elizabeth's real face attached. She quietly moves toward her star on the Walk of Fame, feeling happy and imagining sparkles falling around her because she still wants more fame, success, and attention. Elizabeth gives one last smile before she turns into a puddle of goo. In the morning, a floor scrubber cleans up the puddle, so there's no sign of Elizabeth left. The movie ends here. Please, my family, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.